What is up, YouTube? As you just heard, there is going to be a second video. I'm actually recording this from two different devices to see which one records in HD better. And I tried to post a video from my tablet. I've done it a few times, but for some reason this one, something was wrong with the video in this way, just in case it doesn't post from my tablet. I have it on my phone. Pretty soon I will have a computer do, so I'll be doing most of my videos from that, because you do video editing and stuff like that. What I wanted to talk about, if you guys just excuse me for a minute, because I just shot a 20-minute video of me doing nothing but talking and didn't have a drink. So I'm going to get a drink because my throat's kind of dry. I promise you guys I'll be back in just 1 second. And I have a lot of good stuff to say, so please stay tuned in this video. Anyway, give me a glass of Gatorade. What I have to say is this. I think that modern Christianity completely leaves a bad taste in people's mouths. And people are going to be like, no, yeah. But the scandalous statement that I'm about to make is this. You're not attacking biblical Christianity. You're attacking the versions of it that have been produced by modern day America and Western culture. And let's face it, just like Eastern culture is predominantly Asia, Western culture is predominantly the United States. Now, so pretty much you're attacking the United States version of Christianity. But what you don't realize is biblical Christianity, we would do the same. I would much rather read Mike Horton, John MacArthur, R.C. Sproul Jr., James White, David Van Drunen, Cornelius Van Til, Kevin Van Hooser. I haven't gotten too much into Van Til, Van Drunen, and Van Hooser yet. Dr. Greg Bonson, he's good too. But we would much rather read people like that than read Benny Hinn, Joel Osteen, Joyce Meyer, T.D. Jakes, Dana Muldoon, Robert Tilton, Kenneth Copeland, Sarif O'Dollar. We would much rather read them. I guess when I was in the kitchen getting a drink, my phone probably went off, which means that the video is actually, yes, it is still recording. So I'm going to leave it like that. So what I'm saying is that, like, we would attack the same Christianity you do. But we're also being lumped into that. So when you would have a Calvinist versus Arminian debate, or I'll even say I don't want to use the term Arminian very loosely, I'll say prosperity gospel. Okay? Calvinist versus a prosperity gospel talk. You know, most people that are not Christians, or most people that I've seen are not Christians, would be like, oh, look at this religious babble between two idiots arguing about a fairy tale or something like that. No, if you're not a Christian, we're bound to get some criticism from you, and quite honestly, me, nor should any other Christian actually give a damn about what you have to say. The only thing we're called to do is preach the gospel. You do with it what you want. I can't save you. I can't make you saved. You want to make fun of me? That's cool. I don't mind. I mean, I've had plenty of people make fun of me before. You won't be the first. You won't be the last to call me names or make fun of me. I'm not going to get butthurt about it. Here we go. You want to comment on the video and say, oh, well, you're an idiot. You're stupid. No, I don't disable comments on my videos for that reason. A lot of my religious videos, most of them are people calling me an idiot. I don't really care. Because quite honestly, at night, I'm going to lay down, put my head in a pillow, and I'm going to go to sleep the same way you do. So regardless of whether you like me or not, I really couldn't give it in. Anyway, what I'm saying is we would attack the prosperity gospel too. We have. I mean, all the time you can hear it. We think it's just as much of a joke as you do. But what we want you to know is even if you get to know biblical Christianity, you might still attack it. That's okay. What we're asking, though, is that you don't lump us in with something that is a polar opposite. It's a polar opposite of us. It's not what we are. I mean, that's just like what if I was to say, that, I don't know, that's like, I'm Hispanic. That's like saying all Hispanics are the same. Or David Sarche, my roommate, and you're also on my YouTube, so I know you're going to get this on your video feed thing. That's like saying, how would you feel if people are saying all Asians are the same? I know you're a Calvinist like me, but I want to address the point and make it to as wide of an audience as I can. Or if there's anybody out there that's watching this video that's part of a group like Asian culture, Hispanic culture, or anything like that has different subgroups, how would you feel if I generalized your group and said, you know what, yeah, you're all Asian, you all look the same, you're all the same thing, you're all Hispanic, whether you're Dominican, Puerto Rican, Mexican, Guatemalan, Cuban, anything like that, you're all the same. It's all the same thing. It's offensive. Okay? It is an offensive statement. And it's going to spark some kind of emotion. So rather than go through that, like, why don't people take the time? Why don't you take the time? If you're not a Christian, take the time to say, okay, what's the prosperity gospel? And what's this, minority of Christians over here that follow biblical Christianity? Because we are the minority. Like here in America, it says something like 1% of all Christians are Calvinists. So that's a statistic that I got from my buddy, and I trust that he got that from a reliable source. So I'll have to say that it's probably a reliable number. Now, what I'm saying is that just take the time to recognize that there's differences. It's not all going to be the same. Not all Christians are going to say health, wealth, and happiness. Being a Calvinist. Oh, I might have to go through the window. Being a Calvinist, we actually don't support that. We don't. So, why are you addressing claims to us? Or ascribing beliefs to us that we don't have? Hold on. That's exactly what you're doing. You're ascribing a belief system to us. You're telling us it's what we do believe, and we don't. Do you see where it gets Christians mad at? If you want to come into a debate, attack us logically, with reason, and with truth. I mean, the problem is that I would say there's no truth outside of revelation from God, but we won't get into that. I'm a precept. I also still have some evidentialist views, but for the most part, I'm a precept. And in my last few minutes of this video, I want to address something else. For the Christians that do now this is just targeted towards the Christians that are going to watch this video. For those of you who do, decide to take a look at Calvinism, I got to tell you this. It's going to hurt. It's going to be difficult. It's not an easy road. You're not just going to walk into Calvinism and be happy with it. It's just not how it happens. So please know that, okay? Please know that your feelings are going to get hurt. You're not going to be happy at first. This prosperity gospel stuff is a killer, okay? It is. And coming from that, you're not going to experience the same thing you did listening to Benny Hinn and Joel Osteen and Joyce Meyer. I know, because I used to eat that stuff up. But now, I don't really read Van Til too much. I don't really read Van Hooser, Van Drunen too much. What I do read, I read Mike Horton, I read John MacArthur, I read James White, I read R.C. Sproul, Jr., and I'm starting to read Tim Keller. Worlds apart. In changing, the best book I can recommend for you guys. And if you guys don't have the money for it, contact me on my YouTube in a message, and on my next paycheck, I will send out a few to you guys. I'll send out as many as I can. Keep in mind, I work at Sonic for 20 hours a week, so I don't have that much money. When I get back into school, I'll have my student loans and stuff, but even though those still have to be used towards living expenses. So I'll get to as many of you as I can. I'll get all of you. It might not be for a while, but I'll get to all of you. Okay? That request it. It is a book. It's called Putting Amazing Back into Grace by Michael Horton. And I'm sure that if I can't get to you, my roommate or something, for this cause, he might chip in and help me out a little bit too. But that's what you need to read to get away from Arminianism. I gotta warn you, it's gonna be a tough read for you, and you're not gonna like it. It's gonna shake your faith. It's gonna break the faith that you have in the prosperity gospel. It's gonna shatter it, okay? And it's gonna make you start to lose faith a little bit. At least that's what it did to me. But when you sit down and seriously consider the arguments put forth in that book and what it says, and that it was written by a 12-year-old guy, or 13, and I know I sound a little bit like a Mormon there, but this guy actually wrote this book. Well, actually, Joseph Smith wrote the Book of Mormon too, but not in 90 days like they say he did. It took him about 7 years. But anyway, that's not the point of this part of the video, or any of it for that matter. When you go into Reformed theology, and I don't have a full understanding of it. If you look for David Sarche on my YouTube, he's got a much better understanding of it than I do. But what I will tell you is, it's going to break you. It's going to break your faith. You're not going to have this health, wealth, and happiness joy. It's going to bring you to your knees. But read the book. Just read it. And you'll see what I'm talking about. Okay? I know that modern culture makes fun of us and stuff. Don't worry about that, okay? The Bible says that we're gonna be hated by this world. We have a scandalous belief system, and we're gonna be hated by this world. Everybody knows this. The Bible tells us this. So don't worry about what they say. Just go on this book. Just go read it. You'll go on Amazon and get this book. You can get it for about $5, I think. And it should be around 7 or 8 with shipping and handling. And just get it and read it and honestly study it. And look up some of the other authors that we mentioned, or all of them that I mentioned, and just see what I'm talking about. Yeah. Celebrate, comment below. Let me know what you think. Peace.